Welcome back to News Talk. I'm Bruce DePoy. Have you ever thought about giving up meat? Many people contemplate a meat-free diet, but they can't quite seem to pull the trigger because they're afraid they won't be able to sustain life and eating without their favorite foods. That's why the 7-day vegetarian challenge is taking place next week. Erica Meier is with the group Compassion Over Killing, and she joins us now. Good to have you here again.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks very much for your time. The timing is perfect because an event you're calling the...
It is Veg Week.
Veg Week, and it's the Veg Pledge. The idea of don't think about the rest of your life. Don't think about a year. Ask yourself, could I go 7 days?
7 days. It's a 7-day veg pledge. It's a challenge to see if you can make it through the 7 days. But the goal is not just a challenge. It's really intended to explore new foods, to think about your health, think about the environment, think about animals, and to discover a new way of eating that after 7 days maybe you'll want to stick with, maybe you'll change your diet. It'll at least give you a chance to try something new.
Important that you phrase it that way, because I think for some, the idea of going down this road involves what I'm taking away, what I'm taking off the plate. It's a shrinking of the options that I have for the different meals or snacks throughout the day. You're saying what you can take away a few things, but you can add things that maybe you haven't thought of, or things that could play a bigger role than they do now.
Yes, give it 7 days to open up a whole new palate to you. Try and explore new foods, some which you might like, some which maybe you don't like, and that's the whole goal. So when people sign up, what we do is we give them 7 days. Every day of the week, you'll be getting information from us, resources, free recipes, tips and tricks and meal ideas. And we have a whole bunch of companies working with us to give people deals and discounts on some of the foods available in mainstream grocery stores all over the country.
Grocery stores and restaurants too, and I want to talk about that in a moment. What sorts of things do you suggest to people? I know you have some props here. Some examples here. What sorts of things grab people, create the most enthusiasm, are the most versatile in terms of the kitchen and mealtime prep, etc.?
Yeah, well, it's a great time to explore the idea of cooking vegetables in a different way. And plant-based foods come in different options, including Beyond Meat right here. This is a company, they make plant-based chicken and plant-based beef. This is one of their most popular products. You can put it in chili, you can put it in your salad, you can put it in your pasta sauce.
It looks exactly like chili without the sauce. I mean, it looks meaty, beefy.
It tastes just like meat, but it doesn't have any animal products at all, so it's healthier for you, it's cholesterol free, it's better for the environment, and it's better for the animals.
And versatile too, because you can use it in any of the ways that you would use ground beef, ground chicken, lots of things, right? It's a taco filling. It's anything you want it to be.
Yes, absolutely. So we are working with this company. You might win prizes from them when you sign up. You'll get a discount coupon to use in the stores. And we also have a couple other companies. We have Tofurkey is a company. They offer products. This is a burger, but they also have deli slices. For the holidays, you can get Tofurkey roasts that are similar to turkey, but also made without animal products. So
can I look at this one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Some of the early versions, and the nice thing is, we've come so far. The early veggie burgers were nothing to write home about. Now they have big chunks of mushroom. They'll have a black bean base. There are things in there that look like food, taste like food. With the ketchup and the mustard on there, you're having a good burger experience. It's not like you're settling. It's not like some misery that you're trudging through. We've had 4 and 5 iterations, it seems, of improvement in terms of the taste and the experience of these different options.
Yeah, the flavors of vegetarian and vegan eating have changed dramatically over the years, and these foods are so popular that sometimes when you serve these to people who are familiar with meat, they don't even realize they're eating plant-based foods.
You could probably do one of those famous, like, we've replaced their gourmet coffee with Folgers, and they didn't, right? One of those kinds of things.
Right.
And what I'm noticing here, the sodium on this one is not bad. On some of the substitutes, the sodium levels are a little bit of a source of concern. This one's not bad. It derives its flavor from other things.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, and looking at it from a health perspective, I mean, some of the biggest concerns in the U.S. American diet that's very standard is that we're high in saturated fats, and we're eating a lot of foods that are increasing our cholesterol rates. And plant-based foods are significantly lower in saturated fats, and they're cholesterol free because cholesterol comes from animal food. So when you're eating a plant-based diet, you're not intaking extra cholesterol.
You mentioned the environment a moment ago. So many people have concern about the environment. We know that if all of us do a little, collectively we can do a lot. What sort of environmental benefits accrue from wise food choices?
Well, factory farming is very intensive in the systems that we use today. They are resource intensive and they are causing immense amounts of pollution. In fact, here in Maryland, the Chesapeake Bay has been cited as one of the significant pollution causers of that is the poultry industry, the runoff from these factory farms. And on a global scale, the National Academy of Sciences recently put out a report that focuses on our food choices on a global perspective and the far-reaching impacts. And not only does this study talk about the health perspectives of choosing more plant-based foods, but it talks about how important our dietary choices are for the environment, and it would be impossible to truly tackle climate change without addressing our diet and shifting towards more plant-based foods.
We've been talking a lot about the foods you make at home. The foods you can buy in restaurants are, I mean, the restaurants have really stepped up. It used to be there was one little item at the end of the menu for the non-meat eater. Now the sensitivity is there, the awareness is there, and I think a lot of chefs are finding enjoyment and a challenge and a sense of satisfaction in creating great dishes that have no animal component, look good, smell good, taste good, they're beautiful on the plate, very satisfying, enjoyable to eat. The restaurant community, I was talking with a guy just yesterday who's doing vegetarian and vegan Mexican. He's at the Vermont Street food market
nice.
Every Thursday. They're really stepping up. The options so much more plentiful than before.
Yeah, we're rediscovering what it is to eat vegetables and fruits and discovering them in new ways that we're not familiar with necessarily in our standard American diet. And from fast food restaurants to four-star cuisine, I mean, restaurants are increasingly offering plant-based meals, and they're doing that in response to consumer interest and consumer demand.
So you mentioned that the Veg Pledge is much more than just a sign your name and, okay, you're on your own. It's a real kind of 7-day experience.
Yeah.
Tell us more about it, and where do people find out, or even sign up?
Yeah, you can sign up at vegweek.com, and what we do is when you sign up, we provide you immediately with resources to get you started, some recipes and discounts from various companies, and then throughout the week we'll give you tips and tricks, meal ideas, something to try new, different ideas for feeding your family. A lot of people signing up might be cooking for their families, or they might be a younger person within a family, and so we wanted to make it a fun family experience as well. So we'll have tips for some children, easy meals to make for kids, and what to do when you're dining out and aren't sure where to go, because this might be very new. And there are, like you mentioned, restaurants all over the place offering these options, and so giving people some guidance on where to find some of the best food options available.
A lot of times it's kids or teens who will say to mom and dad, you know what, I don't want to eat meat anymore, and the change within the family comes not from mom and dad saying, okay, we're replacing that burger that you love with this thing that you don't know what it is, or it seems different, therefore it's bad. It'll be the kid who says, you know, I've thought about these issues, I want to now do this other thing, and the family can move in that direction because of the kid. Yeah,
in fact, I was one of those teenagers who talked to my parents about my interest in vegetarian eating, and our diet did shift. And
are you comfortable saying how they responded?
It was a little bit of surprise, and I think my family welcomed it with some uncertainty. They didn't know. You know, we had to find new foods and discover different ideas to eat, and it turned out to be so much easier than even I initially thought. And it turned out, as in high school, friends of mine just started doing it because I was, and we just didn't have to think about it after a couple weeks. It was just a natural choice. You talked about Beyond Beef, the crumble alternative. Here's the burger alternative. There's been a big advance, if you will, in the cheese. There's vegan cheese, you know, non-animal cheese. So there are so many things now that you can do to cobble together, not just an acceptable or okay meal, but a really kind of fun meal to get just as excited about as anybody else. Yeah, a growing number of pizza chains are offering dairy-free pizza as well that you can order out. And give us the information again for where to find more. Vegweek.com. Vegweek.com. All right, Erica Meier of Compassion Over Killing. Always great having you here. Thanks so much. Thank you. Thanks for the show and tell. Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you next time. We'll step aside, back though, with much more news talk right after this.